Hi Floss Tube, it's Anne here. I'm in the UK and I go under the name of Stitchamajig. Welcome to my first Floss Tube. It's not my first YouTube. I have had another channel, hence the number of subscribers, but this channel will be about cross stitch, knitting, crochet, machine knitting, everything to do with fibre crafts. I go under the name of Stitchamajig here on YouTube and also on Instagram. The name was derived from my daughter, who had just seen a band called Stitchamajig, and she thought they were absolutely brilliant. And it was at the same time that I asked her what I should call my new channel, and she said, well, as you do lots of different crafts and lots of different pieces, I think you should call yourself Stitchamajig. So that's what I am. So welcome to my first Floss Tube-ish. I did put one up 2 weeks ago, which I was not happy with at all. I've taken it down now. It was way too personal, way too long for a first one anyway. So here I am, and today I'm going to be showing you my past finishes, my finishes of this year, and my current whips. I've been crafting since I was about 7. My mum showed me how to knit, and the first thing I ever made was an outfit for my Cindy doll, and I knitted for England after that. I would knit clothes for my children. Everybody for Christmas got a jumper or something knitted. I then taught myself how to crochet, and I did a scarf. I didn't do too much crochet though. I've recently got back into that. I didn't really start cross stitching until I was married in the 90s, and that's when I did the majority of my past finishes were in quite concentrated in the 90s, and I've recently got back into it. Probably in the last 3 years I've got back into cross stitch, and so much has changed. I mean, when I first started, all you had was the local needlework shop. There was no internet or anything like that. Well, I never had it anyway. But when I first started watching, I don't even remember why I started watching YouTube. Maybe it was knitting. I was looking for a pattern or something like that, or crochet, and I stumbled upon Floss Tube. And everybody was going on about heids, and I thought, what on earth is a haid? So I had to Google it to find out what it was. Anyway, since then I've gone down a massive rabbit hole, as everybody does, and I've acquired quite a bit over the last couple of years. So anyway, the first thing that I ever did sort of cross stitch was, I'm reliably informed by my sister that I was 14. It was actually a kit that she had, but she's got learning difficulties and she couldn't manage it, so she gave it to me to do, and I did it. It was a horse. I couldn't tell you who it was by or anything. It's 50 years old now. I still have it. It's looking a bit worse for wear, but I did this wrong. I swapped the colours round, so the horse is looking a bit yellow and not brown, so I got the shading wrong. But this is it, and this was my first. It's not cross stitch, but it's like a tapestry, and it's like a foam board with like little slots in. There's some pieces missing, if you can see, but it is 50 years old, so I think it's fared quite well, really. It's got no glass on it. So that was my first ever picture that I did, semi cross stitch related, and you just had, it was like pieces of wool that you pushed down into these little slots, and then moved it over to the next slot and pushed it down. I don't know what the term is, but yeah, so that was that, and that's 50 years old now. When I first got into cross stitch in the 90s, it was my sister that actually got me back into it. She loved to cross stitch, and she did a wedding memorabilia, I think it was, which my niece now has hanging up in her house. It's beautiful. But I had never really done any cross stitching, so I started simple, and I bought this Janlin kit, and it was 4 individual pictures of flowers. So you've got iris, tulips, daffodils and roses. So that was my first ever kit that I did, and these are the finishes that I have, and they're a bit dusty. That one's the daffodil, and they were quite simple but effective. And I had a country cottage kitchen back then, and they fit in perfectly. So that's the daffodils. This is Iris. And these were all, obviously it was a kit, so it was all on the called for tulips. And roses. So, like I say, that was my first ever full cross stitch kit that I ever did. And then I absolutely got the bug, and that was back in the 90s. It's even worse now. And like I say, my kitchen was very countrified, so I don't know what this is. I think this is 18 count Ada, but I haven't a clue what the picture is or what the but it was all hawthorns and berries. I think it might even have been in a magazine, but I can't be too sure. I've since moved a couple of times, so that looked really nice hanging up in my kitchen, and my curtains had all those sort of fruits and berries, so it fit in. So sorry I can't give you the chart name or anything, but it was a long time ago now. And then I did a Noah's Ark, and this is Noah's Ark by Maureen Irvin. And it's got lots of different, you can take out elements to make like little pillows and bibs, but I actually did the main picture. And it's never been hung up, ever. I've got it framed and everything. I don't know why it's never been hung up. I've got a nephew called Noah. I should have given it to him when he was a baby, but I've only just sort of got back into cross stitch. He's 7 now, I think, so I don't think he'd appreciate it now. So it'll be stuck in the cupboard, and this was by True Colours International. But as I say, this is quite an old chart now. Back, I don't think it cross stitch Mum, doesn't actually give a date. And I have stitched this, I would think, on 18 count. It looks, there's quite a lot of back stitch in here. It's very cute. I like it. Maybe I should give it to one of my granddaughters, because she loves animals. I think that's what I'll do, actually. Don't know why I didn't think of that. But it's very cute. You'd better hang on a wall than stuck in the cupboard. So that was, these aren't in any particular order. It's just that I've grabbed them out of the cupboard. And then I did, and this is unfortunately a bit dirty because it's got no glass in it. I did this for my son, and again it never got hung on the wall. I think by the time I finished with it he probably wouldn't have been interested, and it's called Dinosaurs. And this is this was an anchor kit. And here it is. It's very grubby, but it's got Krennic in it. And again, this is a very cute picture. It's nice and colourful. But stuck in the cupboard. Not doing anything. So that's Dinosaurs. And then I couldn't tell you what this chart was. This was fully finished, but as in the move, I think the frame got broken and the glass got broken, so it fell off the wall. So it needs fully finish. It needs taking off, washing, and fully finishing again. I couldn't tell you what the chart is, but it's lots of UK garden birds, I think. I can't see a thing, so I'm hoping that you can see this. So that's the full picture. Got all those twitchers out there. I actually work with a lady whose husband goes out twitching, birding every weekend. So I might give it to her as a wedding anniversary present, which is coming up in September. That might be quite a good idea, because I don't think I'll put it on my wall anymore. But that's stitched on some sort of linen. I couldn't tell you. It looks as if it could be 14 count or 28 count linen, cream linen. Another one I did, and again I haven't got the pattern, so I couldn't tell you, but this is done also on another, well, I think it might be the same cream linen as the other bird. I don't know why, I must have been into birds back in the 90s, but again this has never been finished because I made a mistake on it, and I put it away and I never ever finished it off. So this is it. It's quite a long one. I think it's supposed to be a wall hanging. So, but it is quite long. Again, it's, I think, UK garden birds. And it is very, very long. Butterflies, lots and lots and lots of back stitching in this. But I made a mistake somewhere along here, and I did this bit here, and it was too far. I went too far out, so it was not in line with everything else, and I think that's why I've never finished it off. So, but I don't think I can show you it full length. It's very long. No, can't get it all in the frame. Lots of nice butterflies and flowers, thistles. But I will never finish this, I don't think. Maybe I'll give this one to them as a wedding gift. So that was that one. And I apologise, I couldn't tell you where the chart came from or the name or anything, because it was a long time ago and it's lost in the melee of time. Then I did, this was a Lanate, or Lanate, I don't know how you say it. It was a kit, and it was going into a fire protector, an antique wooden fire that goes in front of, I can't think what you call it, fire guard, but it was antique and it was wooden frame, glass, and it had a tapestry in it which was really dull. So I found this chart and it fit perfectly, but I think I finished that just before my husband and I split up, so it never actually got put into the fire surround. But it is a beautiful picture, and again very countrified, and it was a Lanate kit, and this is it, and it is beautiful. It's sunflowers, bees, lots and lots of work. I think this took me a couple of years to finish because there's so much detail in it. so it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. I should get it framed and put on the wall because it is a beautiful piece, and it's such a shame to have it stuck in the cupboard doing nothing. Then my box of shame. So that's that one. I hope you can see it all because this is so big I can't actually see whether you can see it or not, but hopefully you'll get the gist. But it is a beautiful piece. And that is it. And that is done on an even weave. It looks very small. I haven't got any glasses on and it looks tiny, but I think it might be 18 count. I tended to go for 18 in most of the things that I did. So that was that one. And then what else? Oh, again, I couldn't tell you what this one is. I'm a bit sad I can't find another country cottage one. I think this was a kit. Very colourful. I should perhaps give this one to my daughter's in-laws because they're Italian, and it looks, although it's got jam and everything, but it's got all the like olive oil bottles and things like that. They might appreciate that with the nice. So that was that one, and this is on a blue even weave. Again, I think it was all the called for. It came in the kit. So that's that one. My tastes have changed since then. It's funny, isn't it, how things change over time. The next one is, I have actually got the chart, and it was Thomas Kincaid Light of Peace. And it's a lighthouse, lots and lots of flowers, lots and lots of backstitch and French knots, I believe. And this was done on, this was a kit. Was it a kit? No, this was a chart. So I kitted it up myself, and I've done it on 18 count Ada. There was no such thing as easy grid or anything like that when I did this, and I started, I think, in the middle and worked my way out, and the fabric wasn't big enough, so I miscalculated massively on this piece, and it's got a stain on it and it needs a wash. So I had to stitch some fabric on the sides because it was not big enough. Look, horrible stain. So that's that piece. I love Thomas Kincaid. I absolutely love him. I've got some jigsaw puzzles as well from him, and they're so hard. I've had them for about 6 years now, and I just cannot do them. They're just so difficult. All the colours are blended into one, but this is yeah, lots of back stitching, French knots, but it is very effective, very detailed, very nice. Again, never been hung up. Don't know why, because it's a beautiful picture. So that's Thomas Kincaid Light of Peace. And then the next one is actually a picture that my daughter did when, I think it was her first ever cross stitch. She's 34 now, and I should give this back to her, fix it and give it back to her, because, oh, where's that picture gone? It was garden Backyard Swing, I think it's called. I did have the picture here a minute ago. Where's that gone? Oh, here we go. Backyard Swing. This was a kit that she did, and she must have been about 14, 15 when she did this. Again, never been framed. It's broken. The swing rope has come off, but this was her first attempt at cross stitch. And a very cute piece. I should give it to her, get it framed, give it to her for her daughters. She's got two beautiful little girls, aged 2.5 and 10 months. So I think they'd appreciate that, especially when Mummy made it. So that was her first ever cross stitch, and they're totally hooked now, although they do go in and out of cross stitching. But they've just, they're both doing some MCG textile Disney ones at the moment. And this is one of my, this is my youngest daughter. She finished this probably about 6 months ago, and this is Lady and the Tramp that she's just finished, and she's 28. She was 28 on Friday, sorry, and this was her first, no, not her first cross stitch. She did the Cinderella one. This was her second ever cross stitch. So we'll be getting that framed for her. She's had the Cinderella one framed. I'll show you that in the next video. And I'll show you a lot of my other fully finished ones in the next video. So that's Lady and the Tramp. And then back to my, oh, this was another one that my eldest daughter did. She made this for me. And I've got the book somewhere, but this is a winter fairy. It's a book with all the different fairies in, and she's done that with me for me. I need to get that one framed, and it's got French knots. Has it got any beads? No beads. French knots and Krennic. So she finished that. That was her second piece that she made for me. That's nice. I love the colours. My favourite colour is teal. Would you guess? And then my finishes this year, I have completed Joan Elliott's teddy bear stocking, which is, let me find it, this one. I've just finished, well, I haven't fully finished it. I finished the actual cross stitching. This book are all magazine charts, all Joan Elliott. So if anybody wants a flick through of my Joan Elliott book, please say in the comments below, and I'm happy to do that. I've actually, when I first got back into cross stitch this time, I went onto Facebook to find some, because I was obsessed by Joan Elliott for some reason. I get this like obsession, and I found out where all her charts were in the magazines, and I went onto Facebook and I found a lady that was selling off her entire collection of cross stitch magazines. World of Cross Stitch, not Cross Stitch Gold, what's the other one? Cross Stitch Collection. So I've got piles and piles and piles of cross stitch books, and I thought I never ever would just sit and look through the cross stitch books. So I'm going to extract all the patterns that I like and put them into books, into these files. So, and some are in categories of theme. This, like Joan Elliott's got a file of her own. Christmas has got another file. So if anybody wants to see any of them, just let me know. And anyway, this is my finish for my stocking, and I finished that this year. I've got to fully finish it ready for Christmas, obviously. And it has lots of beads. I've actually stitched this on a 32 count opalescent white, And the threads I've used are Chinese silk filament from China, and the colours are so vibrant. They really pop. Compared to DMC, they're just so shiny and beautiful, and it's got lots and lots and lots of back stitching in gold thread, lots and lots of beads. Here with the these are supposed to be French knots, all these little dots, but I hate French knotting, so I put in black delicate beads instead. So it's chock-a-block full of beads. I think the beading took me about a week to do, but it's beautiful. I love it. There's quite a few mistakes on it, but never mind. So that's that. I've got to finish it ready in time for Christmas, and that's for my eldest granddaughter. And then what else have I finished this year? I've done a Shannon Christie design with Nora Corbett's Letter A Fairy. So this chart was horrendous. It's so fade, it's so pale on the back. I had to transfer it onto my computer, as I do with a lot of my charts actually, because my eyes are so bad. I actually digitize them so that I can work straight off the laptop or tablet. So I did that with this because the symbols are so faded. So yeah, Letter A Fairy with and again I've lost that picture now. Where's that gone? It was a Shannon Christie design March birthstone. So I combined the two to create the next finish for my granddaughter. I changed the colours. This is done on Witch Out Permin, 32 count I believe. So I did one of those in each corner, and they've got Swarovski crystals and Mayuki seed beads, and I've got one of those in each corner. And then in the middle I've got the Letter A Fairy, and I've changed all the colours apart from the letter because I wanted it in aquamarine, because that is her birthstone. The only original colours are the wings and the letter, and again, and I changed the bead colours as well. So we've got delicate beads, and the Krennic is a different colour as well. That's like a copper colour. And then again another one in that corner, and another one in that corner. And I've got personalised it by saying hand stitched by Nanan, because that's what they call me, for Alicia's 2nd birthday. So, and the year I finished it. So that's that one. And I need to take that to the framers now that they're open again. Get that finished. It's very, very pretty, very shiny. I'm not quite sure how I do it, whether I put glass in it or not. What do you think? Should I put glass in it, or should I just leave it so you can see the sparkle? I don't know whether glass detracts from the sparkle. So that was that one. I think that's all my finishes for this year, I believe. So now I'll go on to my whips. I'm currently working on the Emporium, and this is a Catkins Designs chart, and I went to the Knitting and Stitch show about 3 years ago now, and I had a voucher that my sister gave me for Christmas, or my birthday, and I saw this model stitched up and I thought it was absolutely beautiful, so I thought I have to stitch that. So she accepted my voucher. This is a bigger picture. So I bought that, and this is my current whip, and it's on all the cord for because it was a kit. And that is where I'm up to so far. I haven't got an awful lot more to do. I've got to finish the lady on this side. There's another lady there, and finish that lady's, the one with the red flowers in her hair. I've got to finish her dress off. There's another lady in the window on this side. Finish off the window. It's like walking into a shop. So I've got to finish off the shop window and a bit of the walling detail at the bottom, and then that one's done. There's a lot of Krennic in it. It's a black work design. That's my first attempt at a black work design, and I do like it. It's very hard. You've got to get into a rhythm with black work, work out how to do each pattern, you know, whether you do each pattern individually or do you go across the line and then come back again. And I had to ring them to find out where the lines were that went in the dresses and that, because it wasn't clear on the chart at all. So she sent me a bigger picture, which helped enormously. So that was Catkins Designs, the Emporium. There's quite a few in this sort of series. So that's that one. Not much more to do on that. I don't know why I haven't finished. So that's that. And then I'm also working on a chatelaine. I started small because I'm not sure whether I'd like it. So I'm doing the beaded peacock tile. And I haven't done a great deal on this one. But I love the colours. I love anything to do with peacocks. And the colour teal, love it. So this won't take too long to do, but I really do need to get on with it. So that's the beaded peacock tile. I have actually got the dragonfly tile as well, which I haven't started yet, but that's in my future plans. And I've also got quite a few mandala patterns. The Greek mandala, I've got Poison Garden, but they all need kitting up, which isn't a minor affair. So that's and this is done on 32 count opalescent white. I didn't tell you what it was a kit, so I think that was, it looks like 32 count even weave on the Emporium. Yeah, so 32 count opalescent white. It was an offcut from my stocking, I believe. So that's very pretty, and it's got lots and lots of beads on it. And I've got the beads, I've got everything to crack on with it. I just need to crack on with it. So the next one I'm working on is Spirit of Winter, Ciro Marchetti, which is a Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is my first Heaven and Earth Designs that I've purchased and stitching on. So that's this one. There is a mini which Dizzy Stitches is doing, and he calls it his Posh Robin, which is a mini from this picture. But I'm doing the full one, and I think if I was to ever start it again, I would do it without all the snowflakes around the outside. They are so confetti heavy, it's ridiculous, and I think the picture would look just as good without them. So that's one I'm currently working on, and this is done on 18 count Ada, which I have gridded myself. It's very stiff. I've had to add fabric either end to get it into my scroll frame, and this is where I'm up to with this. So I'm darting about all over the show, with this, but I would like, once I finished this half, to start doing diagonal parking. I've never tried park. I couldn't understand the reason why people would park. I think if you're going to put the thread down below, why don't you just stitch it? But having watched lots of floss tubes about parking, I can understand why it's done now. So I think I'd like to try and do some diagonal parking. But I was very disappointed with the colour of the berries. I thought they'd be really red, but they're not. They're like a rusty brown. And it's got lots of krennic in it. The lady's face has got lots of krennic in it, which I find really bizarre. But there's another lady that's actually doing this, and I asked her, she's finished the lady's face. So I asked her, and she said, yes, she's put it in. So I shall put the krennic in. And it's all like the mountains and that have all got krennic in, because obviously it's snow. So that's my current progress on Ciro Marchetti Spirit of Winter. I've got all the other seasons, which I'd love to stitch, but I'll probably run out of life before I get a chance to do those. But we'll see. I've never had so many whips in my life. I used to be a monogamous stitcher, but not anymore. Thanks to YouTube and Flosstube and all of you enablers. Because, like I say, I've never even heard of a Haid. And then I went down the rabbit hole, and I've got quite a few now. Quite a few. Oh, I have got a couple of other finishes from this year. I forgot. Well, one other. That is my Blitzen by Nora Corbett. I've got all of them, and I will be finishing them all individually. This is done on Fabric Flare Snowy Days, and it's pre-printed on one side and white on the back. And yes, that is my back. And it's got lots and lots and lots of bling, which I love. And this again is done with the greeny part up here with the red and in the flowers and the trees is the actual called for what is it called? I've forgotten what it's called. It's the called for thread, but the rest is the colour and cotton or something like that, or have I can't think. Anyway, the rest is done with my Chinese silk again. So again, it's really sparkly and shiny, really shiny, and it goes with all the bling of the beads. So that one's a finish, not fully finished. And then my current whip, I've got two more on the go. This one is Comet. The stitching is all done. I've just got to finish doing, or I've just got to start and finish all the beading. It's supposed to have a black cross line all the way around, but I'm going to omit that. I don't feel it's actually necessary. So that's that one. Again, all the called for colours. The colours in the Chinese silks are the same as DMC colours, but they're just far more vibrant. They're like a satin. So that's that one. That's Comet by Nora Corbett. It's the Christmas Eve Courier series. And this is Cupid. I haven't done too much of this one. And they're all on the same fabric. Fabric Flare Snowy Days. And you can see on this one more clearly that it's got clouds and like snowflakes. So I thought that was quite cute for these designs. So that's as far as I've got with Cupid. And these are my little mini scroll frames. I put these on with Velcro, so I don't have to use up too much fabric. And I bought one long piece landscape, because you can buy this in portrait or landscape. So I bought it landscape, and I can't remember how, I think it's about 27 inches long, and I cut it into 3. And it fits 3 of these patterns, so 3 of these designs go on one piece of fabric. but I'm doing them, I shall frame them all individually. So, and they're all my colours. This is the Chinese silk filament. Beautiful colours and very, very shiny. And it's a pain to work with 2 strands because it's out. You think it's in, and then you go back. You have to do each cross individually. If you go across the line and then come back, you'll find that the stitches that you've already done have gone. And then you have to, well, when you try and do the other cross, it like squishes out. So you've got like fat bits at the side and the cross going across. So I tend to do mine individually so I can keep an eye on that. But it was trial and error. So yeah, but I do love working with it. It's you can use a strand this long and it will last the whole way, the whole length. It doesn't like fade or go, you know, thin. It's nice stuff to work with singly. So that's that. And then I recently started, probably about 2 weeks ago, the Modern Folk Embroidery Sal for 2021, which is Fruits of Plenty. Modern Folk Embroidery Sal I'm doing. Oh gosh, way too much. There we go. I started this 2 weeks ago, so I'm way behind because we're up to July now, and I haven't quite finished February. And I'm doing this with the Chinese silk, 1/2 on 18 count Ada, and it was something that I had in my stash. I did actually buy a piece of fabric to use for this, but changed my mind because it was such a huge piece of fabric, and I wanted to do it in the silk, but I didn't want to do it with 2 strands because it's such a big piece. I thought it's going to drive me mad trying to get these stitches to lay straight. So I pulled a piece of Ada out of my kit, out of my stash, and I think it looks quite nice on it. Those are the colours that I'm using for my Sal, and they are my Peacock palette. I love them. Beautiful colours, beautiful, beautiful colours. And this is my current progress. So I've done January and a little bit, I've gone down just a few stitches down into the next chart, and I'm almost finished February. I've just got to do another couple of elements each side of the heart and then the top of the A part at the bottom there. So, but I've gone over here into the next month. So that's my current progress on Fruits of Plenty, and I love the colours. I've frogged it so many times. I did the flowers, the big blue flowers by the heart. I actually did in the very bright, vibrant blue, 665, I think it is. I did them in that, and I thought, no, it doesn't look right. So I frogged all those out. Well, first of all, I did one flower, and then I'd done it 1 stitch too low, so I unpicked it. Did it again, did the other side in the bright blue, and then decided I didn't actually like the bright blue, so I unfrogged both of them, and I've redone them in the dark blue. So I will be adding beads to this. It doesn't call for beads, but I'm going to add beads because I like a few bits of bead. So that's my current whip for that. And this is my scroll frame, and I'll show you this. I've had a little bit of haul to, and I'll go through that in a minute. But this is radiator pipe, which I slit down the middle. Literally, you just cut down the middle, and then it pops over there, and it acts as a grime guard, it acts as a cushion for your wrists, and it also acts as a needle cushion. So it's an all-in-one, and this piece, which covers top and bottom, cost me £1.20. Bargain. I'd rather spend money on my stuff to actually do the cross stitch, like beads and thread and fabric, than stuff to protect it. You know, this works perfectly well, and it goes on to Q snaps as well. Not that I use Q snaps, but my daughter does, and it works just as good. And it was £1.20 for that. So well chuffed with that. I think I saw somebody on YouTube using it, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea, so I adopted it myself. And then my last whip is a picture, a personalised picture for my daughter's wedding. She got married 3 years ago, and she was very upset that she would not look very feminine, because she, at 28, she had a double mastectomy for breast cancer. She lost all her hair, blah blah blah. Anyway, she's on the road to recovery, but she got married, and she was terrified that she wouldn't look feminine because of all the bits that have gone, but her hair had grown back, and I thought, I've got to prove to her just how beautiful she was on the day, and still is, inside and out. So I charted this myself using Threadbare app, and he's now actually got a new app out for marking off, and he's updating it every day. So you can actually upload heaven and earth designs on it now, and he's going to bring in back stitching, I read today, and it's really good app, so go check that out. And this is my current progress on my daughter's wedding picture. We had such a beautiful day, and this is stitched on, I think it's, I don't know what this fabric is, I think it's 25 count. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. I'm not very happy with the coverage on her hair, but at a distance it looks good. In real life it actually looks worse on picture on here, I think. This, and when I was stitching it up, I mean, it you know, it could be probably charted better, but when I was stitching, like, her hand, here's her hand here, it was like bright salmon pink, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's just horrendous. It's going to be horrendous. She's not salmon pink, but I think once you get all the other colours in and around, it just blends in, and amazing how it develops. And it was such a beautiful sunny day, and we were surrounded, all this background was all glitter, all sequins, so you've got a lot of reflection from that. So and the sun was shining through the canvas because it was in a big marquee, the reception. So it was, the picture just looked sunny. But the picture is a lot bigger than this. I'm almost 50% done on here, and I really don't know what to do because it's taken me 2 years so far, 2.5 years so far, but I get so bored with the colours. I love the subjects, I love the picture, but I get bored with doing the colours, so I keep putting it down, and I really should pick it up again. But the actual picture, and I will show you the picture, and I really don't know whether to finish it all the way down to the bottom or cut it off. Let me show you the picture. So that is the picture. Now, do I stop by the elbow just to get that bit in and go down as far, or do I go down the whole picture? What do you think, guys? I really don't know what to do. I think it's just taken me so long to do it. I just think I need to get it done, but it's still going to take me a long time to finish this. And I'm just looking at all that white. I'm thinking, no, I don't like stitching white. But what do you think? Shall I go finish the whole picture, or shall I stop it and chop it off at the elbow or even higher? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you like. So that is my current whips. I do have a lot of plans for the upcoming future. I do have a little bit of haul for you. I ordered some fabric from Crafty Kitten. It was my first ever piece of hand dyed fabric, and it is to stitch. I bought this as a kit from eBay, and it's a Mirabilia Sleeping Beauty. It did come with fabric, but I don't, you know, I just wanted something. I've never done a Mirabilia like this before. This would be my first one. It came with all the floss, fabric, beads, everything. But I've swapped out the fabric, and I've been waiting for 5.5 months for this. But it's actually arrived on Friday. And it is Hedgerow, and it's 32 count even weave from Crafty Kitten. And I think it's a beautiful piece of fabric. I absolutely love the colours. It is so subtle, and these are the threads that it's going to be stitched with, and I think they will look just perfect on there. Just perfect. You've got all the muted lilacs, teals, and I think it's just going to look amazing on this piece of fabric. Let me fold it over a bit so you can see. What do you think? Do you think that will look nice on there? I think it will. Turn it over. There we go. So I should be starting that in the very near future. So that was one piece of fabric that I had from her, and I'm so happy with it. I was a bit disappointed with the length of time it took to get here. I understand all the delays and everything, but I think it took 3 weeks after it was confirmed as dispatched. It still took 3 weeks to get here, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, that's Sleeping Beauty. That's what will be going on that piece of fabric. And then I also purchased a piece of fabric called Icicle. It's an opalescent 32 count even weave again. It's called Icicle, but I actually can't, I can't see any colours on it. I think it just looks like very, very, very pale blue. I can't see any hand dyeing on there at all, or whether that is just a plain fabric just called Icicle. But it's an opalescent, as you can see, maybe not. And I will probably be stitching another stocking for my other granddaughter, and that will be, I probably haven't got it in here. No. It'll either be another teddy bear stocking, or the Father Christmas stocking, which is that one. Sorry. That one, which is a Joan Elliott pattern. So I will be starting that one soon for Christmas in July on that piece of fabric. I also I bought these, and these are 5mm screws. I don't know what they call them now, but on my little scroll frames I've got these as with all scroll frames, you've got these nuts on here which hurt my fingers. So I took one of these nuts to the hardware store to find out what size they are, and then I ordered on the internet these knobs which fit on there perfectly, and they're so much easier to screw up as opposed to these things. So I bought a pack of £1.20 I think on eBay or Amazon. And then I also have had lots and lots and lots of beads, which I order from Blue Street Crystals and Stitch and Craft. Unfortunately, they're going out of business now. They've said that they're due to COVID and everything, and they've lost their main supplier, which is Swarovski. Can't ever say that. So I've ordered, you know, lots of Blue Street Crystals, so many. But anyway, massive bag full of beads here, all to do with my mirabilias and my all my other kits that I'll show you another day. Not kits, charts I've got lined up. I've got Muka by Mirabilia, Lady of Justice, Bianca Bella, love that, lovely colours. I've also got a design called Tiana, which is, I can't remember who it's by now, somebody on Etsy. I'll find the I'll show you when I start kit that up. I'll show you that. So I've got plenty of plans for the future. I also purchased, years and years and years ago, I made some Christmas walnuts for my tree. They were gold and they had little crocheted flowers on the top and beads. And I lent the book to my sister, and after she passed away, it just went missing. So I've been on the hunt for this book because I knew that there were lots of other patterns in there that I really liked. So I went onto Amazon this week and I found a book, and I thought that was going to be it. But it was called Decorating for Christmas. So if anybody wants a flick through of that at any point, I don't know that there's much cross stitch in there. There's a bit, but it's more ideas for decorating the tree and stuff like that. So I purchased that. Then, that wasn't the book I actually was looking for. I then went back on again and I searched Christmas stitching from the 90s, because that's when I did all my crafting back then. And I found it. Hey, I found my book. And the walnuts that I did were not the first item. The walnuts I did were, where are you? No, these. And she made the same. She loved mine, so I made those back in the 90s. But there's lots of different crafts in here as well. Some beautiful patterns. Some more decorations for the tree. A card holder. Then you've got mobiles. There is some cross stitching in here, but it's mainly stitching and machine embroidery, which I now have a embroidery machine, and I will show you some of the things that I have made with that. So anyway, there's some Christmas trees, standalone Christmas trees. It's a beautiful book, so if anybody wants a proper flick through on that one. Then I went to my local shop, Lidl's. I used to work at Lidl's just across the road, and they had a cross stitch book in there, and not cross stitch, crochet. So there's a few nice patterns in there, but I mainly bought it for this pattern so that I can make a couple of little dresses for my granddaughters, because I thought that was really cute. I do like that. But I do my machine embroidery. I made my granddaughter a book, and it was a dress-up book, and I had lots of different animals. It was a pattern from Anita Good Design, and it's lots of different book pages, and you make it up into a complete book, and then you make all the little outfits. But this is one of the ones that I did wrong, but just to give you an idea of what I can do on my machine. So I put these snaps in here, and then you make the little outfit, and it's supposed to have buttons, but I thought, oh, I can't be faffed to sew on all those buttons. So I put cam snaps in there. And then you make the little outfits that just pop onto here. So it's like when I was a kid, we used to have paper dress-up dolls. This is like a fabric variation of that, but with animals, and it's so cute. My granddaughter absolutely loves it. She plays with it most days, and she knows exactly what outfit goes with what animal. She's very, very particular. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's still a long one, I think, because I waffle a little bit. Any comments, please leave below. I would appreciate it. I have got some future plans. I will show you my knitting that I'm doing, my crochet that I'm doing, and my machinery embroidery that I've half done. I've got so many things that I can show you if you're interested in seeing them. So take care, guys. Have a nice week and stitchy weekend if you've got a nice stitchy weekend coming up, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.